All right, today we are going to be setting up, um, doing a complete setup and educational video on the Betta Fish. Also pronounced as Beta Fish, which over on our Facebook page, we just had a little argument about the proper pronunciation, which we do believe to be Betta, but I would tell you if you're in America, 95% of people that come in here call it the Beta Fish. So the Beta Fish is one of the most popular fish in the aquarium trade. And the reason for that being is they are one of the most stunning fish. There's over 20 different kinds of betta fish. See, now I'm calling it betta fish too. There's over 20 different types of betta fish, and each of those can come upwards of 30 colors, which really makes them super unique. Every single betta fish is super unique. They are a very interesting fish in that they are better known as like a Siamese fighting fish. And the reason they get that nickname is the males are extremely territorial and will fight. That's a koi betta right there, because those beautiful speckling markings. The males will fight, so they are typically kept as a solitary animal. It's also, a lot of people believe that they can be kept in very small enclosures. We often see them kept in bowls or small cups. And people think that if you keep a plant in with them, that they can like survive off of the plant. So there's a lot of myths out there surrounding the betta fish. So definitely before you decide to go out and get one, this is a good starting point on this video to learn a little bit about them and a little bit about their care. They can be kept in smaller aquariums, like 1 gallon, and technically can be kept without filters, but it's not recommended. We don't keep our betta fish displayed in cups here, but these are 1 gallon tanks, which are not super ideal for them. It can be done, but again, they're very temporary. These bettas are coming and going. We're actually very low on betta fish right now. We only have 8, and we normally keep upwards of 25 of them. So again, they can be kept in these smaller enclosures, but it needs to be, you have to be much more diligent in the care of your betta fish if you're going to keep them in something smaller. We're going to set up a nano tank that's a 3 gallon. Again, a 3 gallon is definitely doable if you set it up right. A lot of hiding spots, a lot of interaction. Bettas are really intelligent animals, but a lot of people you'll see will even recommend 5 gallons and larger. These are 3 gallon filtered spec tanks that are built specifically for betta fish. Right in there, that's a black orchid betta. Crown tail, which you can see, it's got it looks like it has the shredded tail. So again, that's just a different type of betta fish. So we're going to be setting up one of these 3 gallon spec aquariums today. Betta fish do require to be between 75 and 85-degree water temperatures. They can tolerate much lower, and they can tolerate extreme high, but it's definitely going to shorten their life expectancy and their health and happiness. So the betta fish can live on average between 3 and 5 years, but some have been known to live as long as 7 years with proper care. So definitely want to set it up right. We're going to be putting a heater in our tank, and we'll go over all of that with you. The number 1 exporter of betta fish in the entire world is Thailand, which is where they're from. And they actually export over 100,000 betta fish every single week to countries around the world. It's another really awesome betta fish. I know I'm pausing to show you guys them. So again, you can see that quantity, and other people breed them as well. They are extremely popular. Male betta fish actually create what is called a bubble nest. They will do it. The females will lay the eggs in a bubble nest, which all bettas make bubble nests, whether they have eggs or not. So you can actually see this male here has a little bubble nest going. And it's actually interesting, if there's things in your tank that are coming out of the water, they will typically build that bubble nest there. And they do that by gulping air and putting the bubbles up there. Betta fish have what is called a labyrinth organ, which allows them to breathe actual oxygen. So it's not developed right whenever they're hatched, but it happens around 4 to 6 months. They'll actually develop this labyrinth organ that allows them to breathe air. And that is why they're actually able to be kept in smaller spaces and live in dirtier water. They've been found living in puddles and rice fields in just minuscule amounts of water. And that's because the labyrinth organ allows them to breathe actual oxygen. So the males actually protect the babies, the eggs, inside that bubble nest, which is quite interesting. And then once they hatch, they swim away because the males will obviously eat them if they stick around. Um, so betas, again, going back to talking about like people that have kept them in vases with plants, believing they eat like the plant root. Betas are actually carnivorous, so they want meat. So bloodworms is really popular. Unfortunately, in the aquarium industry, we see a lot of overfeeding happening. People don't realize how minimal they eat. So a lot of overfeeding, that leads to a bad water quality. So definitely want to keep an eye on what you're feeding your betta fish, and how much you're feeding them. That will also lead to obesity. And people don't think about that when it comes to fish, but they definitely can become obese. Again, you guys are kind of seeing prices as I go around showing you the different bettas here. They range in price anywhere from as low as $5. There's betta fish that sell for $70, $80, depending on color. So I think I touched on a lot of the bases there. I'm sure there's so much to learn. I mean, betta fish have been around for over 1,000 years, so there is a ton to learn about them. This video, again, is not meant to be like the end all be all. It's just to give you a basic understanding, some fun facts about the betta fish, and then show you a quick setup. So I'm sure I'm missing things, guys. If you have questions, you can ask them in the comments. If you want to add anything to the video, feel free to drop those in the comments as well. But I'm going to go ahead and head back to set up the fish tank now for you guys so you can kind of see what all goes into it. All right, everybody. So moving on to the setup stage of this video. And I'm going to be going over, this will give you a lot more of the care information that you guys might be looking for. So we're going to be using, let's see if I can get this in, the Betta specific fluval tanks. This is a 3-gallon nano tank. What's nice is that it, it has a built-in filter. So all your filtration is all back here behind this. So you're not doing a hang off the back, filter. It's all internal, which is super nice and super convenient. This kit, which I also really like about it, it does come with a heater already. So let me see, where did I put that heater at? I pre-grabbed all of my supplies. So it pre-comes with the heater. This is a preset heater that's going to heat the water to exactly 78 degrees. And you're actually able to tuck that away in the filtration area as well. So it keeps it really just clean, a clean looking tank. So after you have that done, I'm going to take some pre-rinsed gravel. Now, it is typically recommended that you rewash this. We're going to skip that step, being that we're doing this live right on the video. And then I'm going to get a little gravel base here. Alrighty. And this is going to be for just a singular male betta. Now, I know we talked about betta fish people believe that they can only be kept alone. If they are in a large enough tank, they are actually able to be kept with other species of fish, but also each betta fish is a unique individual. So with that being said, you always have to keep an eye on, there's a ton of types of non-aggressive fish that you can actually house with betta fish in large enough tanks, but you're going to need to provide them with a ton of hiding places, things to swim through and swim around, get out of each other's way, and then also ample space. So in a little 2-gallon, 3-gallon tank, you can only keep a betta fish. But if you get yourself into a community tank, 10, 15, 20 gallons, it's very important that no other fish have the same body style as the betta, but your LFS, stands for local fish store, should be able to lead you in the right direction when it comes to what can go in with a betta fish. Sometimes females can be kept together in groups that are called sororities, but even those can get territorial. So if you do decide to go that route, the females are very beautiful as well. We would always recommend that you got to keep a close eye on the fish to make sure they're getting along, or that somebody didn't get super territorial. But in a tank like this, we're going to recommend just, one singular male betta fish. I'm actually going to be I'm going a little above and beyond, but betta fish are intelligent and known to be playful fish. So they actually, some of them will play with bubblers. So we're actually going to add in here a little air pump. So I got my little air pump here, and this is actually a pretty inexpensive add-on. I'm going to be able to add this air pump's like $12, a little bit of airline tubing, and then a little air stone. So this is like a $15 addition, and it actually, I feel like it brings a lot to the aquarium. So you'll actually, you'll set that behind your fish tank. So again, it's out of sight. You attach your airline tube to the end of your air stone, and then you just run that right down into the tank where you want. They sell little suction cups, so you can suction cup it to the back. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to hide it under. I was trying to bring some color to this tank. I really want my betta fish to be the main star. I'm going to be picking out what I hope, or what you will be doing too, is picking out what you guys think is the most beautiful betta fish. So I don't want a ton of color in this tank to draw your eye. I really want your focus to be on the betta fish. So again, I'm going to create a little rock mound. This is like glass rock here. I'm going to create this little rock mound over top of my airline tube. And I'm hoping my air bubbles will come up all through that, and that will be pretty neat looking. And then we're going to add some plants here for the betta fish. Put this guy back here. Again, I went more naturalistic. This tank actually supports live plants, so you could actually put live plants in here if you wanted. But again, if you're doing this as like a desktop aquarium, especially like these are really popular for, kids to get into the hobby, then maybe just the acrylic plants are the way to go. So not as much maintenance for you. You don't have to worry about caring for your live plant in addition to your fish. This is, like I said, this is meant to be an easier fish to take care of. So get that in there. I'm going to have to rearrange a little bit as we add the water. And I'm just burying those bases in a little bit of gravel. They do come with weighted bases, so that way you don't have to worry so much about the plants floating away, rather than those like cheap plastic ones that like are meant to be buried. I like to do a little bit of both though, so that way it's you're covering all of your bases. I also got a really cool little product. This is made by ZoomEd. This is called Betta Bed Hammock. And betta fish actually sleep. They'll lay on the bottom of the tank. They'll lay on branches. So if they have something to sleep on, they'll actually go up and lay in it. So this is unique. You don't see a lot of fish laying on the bottom. So this is just really simple. It suction cups right to the side, and then you're going to put that wherever you'd like. We're going to put ours, actually, let's do it right off the back. That's kind of cool. That'll be right off the back of the tank, and hopefully my betta fish, as he gets used to his surroundings, will get excited, and he'll take a nap on my hammock. They make a whole bunch of different products like that for them. Something else that's natural to the betta fish is almond leaves. So this is going to be something that's very, if your betta was living in the wild, that they would come across. And these add a little bit of what's called tannins to the water, which will make the water discolor them just the smallest bit. But it's actually great. You can add almond water extract to your betta tank. Almond water, is it extract, or gosh, am I baking right now? I don't run a baking channel, so I'm going to put these almond leaves. Maybe we'll only use like half of them. I'm going to put them back here. So this is like almond leaf bedding. It lowers the pH in the water, which bettas are super susceptible to high pH. They don't do well in high pH, so you can always change those out too. They don't do well in high pH levels, so the almond leaves will actually keep the pH levels down. Your fish store should be able to test your water for you to tell you how your pH levels are. Most do it for free. Like, I know ours is absolutely free. But if you got a place that does it for free, you don't even have to worry about buying the test and doing it, but that is something you can purchase, is a test kit. So I'm going for the rest of my gravel. I really like how that's turning out. So All right, I am now going to add water and then put my fish in, so stay tuned. All right, so the tank is finished. We're about to introduce our new pet Betta Fish. A couple things to note. One, I didn't mention, this isn't necessary, but I did add a thermometer to the side so I can monitor the temperature, make sure the heater is not going to malfunction or anything. That's like a 99-cent addition. I am also, I love the look of it with the bubbles, but the bubble flow is very aggressive. So they actually make something, it's like $1 that you can add to the airline tube to turn down the amount of bubbles that's coming out. Because I feel like I'm watching like Finding Nemo and about to start singing ah ooh wah hee ah oh oh oh. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So let me go get my new betta fish and see if he likes his new digs. All right, as promised, here I added a little adjuster to the airline tube. We turned the bubbles way down, so that's a much more acceptable amount of bubbles. And then there is my beta. I think you guys probably all guessed that's the one I was going to pick the way I kept showing him at the beginning. Now to add up how much it costs to set this beta tank up. All right, so I just finished tallying up how much I spent, and I feel like I'm the old guy from Jurassic Park because I spared no expense. So I literally went all out. I also picked a very expensive beta that cost over $20. Multiple pieces of driftwood, multiple plants, multiple types of gravel, the almond leaves, which I have extra, food, water conditioner, everything that you possibly could need. I ended up spending $191. Now, again, that's a $30 beta fish. So if you're looking to do it for less, start by not picking such an expensive beta fish. But also, it is not, to set them up correctly, it's going to cost you, over $100. This tank setup is $80, and that's the average retail everywhere. So whether you're to buy it online, Amazon sells it, Chewy sells it, your local pet store, which local business, we love when you support us, they're $80 everywhere. So you're going to be over $100 to set up beta and have your tank look somewhat like this, which I could guarantee you I have a really, really happy beta, and he's going to be really, really healthy, especially with my almond leaves that are sitting down there, and everything for him to swim through and explore. I think I'll have a happy and healthy beta. Thanks, guys, for watching very much, and like and subscribe. Ask any questions in the comments, or if you want to add anything to the video, feel free to do that as well.